Hi, I'm Darren Palmer, and this is Almost Home, a podcast about dreamers still finding their place. My career has taken me many places, from design studios to your TV screen. With this podcast, though, I'm going somewhere completely different. I'm so excited for this conversation. The quintessential Aussie family man, Scott Cam. If you think you know him, you do. He is exactly what he is, whether on TV or off it. So let's catch up with Scotty and hear how he's finding himself almost home. You've seen me find the perfect cushion, the best lighting, and the colours that just bring a space to life. But design is more than just what you put in a space, it's also about what you take out. I call this clutter management. My best find for ticking off this box? The Shark PowerDetect Clean and Empty. It's the ultimate cordless vac. It cleans like nobody's business, it auto recharges and empties after every use. The PowerDetect Clean and Empty by Shark. Dirt eliminating, designer approved. I'm particularly interested in hearing about who Scott the carpenter was before you were Scott Cam from the block. Before people spoke to you and described you with your full name, because that's what they do, right?
I don't know why they do that.
It's the weirdest thing. And they don't tell you about that working in the media, that people always refer to you by your full name.
Yeah.
But before that,
Yes.
you were Scott the carpenter.
Yes.
And he looked like this guy up there on the painting.
I did. I looked a bit like that bloke in the Archibalds. And, well, mate, I was just your carpenter, you know, like I worked really hard. I loved it. And I went to the pub every night on the way home for an hour. Well, in the early days, Anne and I were just going out and living together. But then, of course, we had some kiddies. And so work was my life to feed my family.
What was your family home like when you had the little kids and you were Scott the carpenter?
We had a beautiful little terrace in Zetland, which we loved. It was our first home, $202,000, Dazza. How mad? Imagine buying a house for $202,000.
I can only imagine, as can most of Australia.
That's right. But it was a lot of money for us. You know, this house, it had an outside dunny. It had a loo out the backyard. It had no kitchen of such. It had a sink. That was it. So I had to move in with my mum for about 6 months while I renovated at night and on weekends, and I just punched it out in about 4 months, and we moved in and had a house. And then about 2 years later, maybe 18 months later, we were pregnant and had a baby, Charlie, who's now nearly 30.
So you did all the renos. That was all you?
Well, it was just the kitchen.
Yeah.
And bathrooms. Well, basically, it was a lounge dining kitchen.
All the hard stuff.
Yeah, and of course I did that myself because you wouldn't get anyone else to do it. And I'm still doing renos here, mate, at this house at the age of 63. I'm painting the roof at the moment.
Jesus. You got more energy than me, mate.
3 stories up.
So your house back in Zetland, you've renovated. You got some mates to help you as well?
No, well, I had a couple of boys working for me then. I had apprentices and stuff like that. So they would help me if we were, but also at the same time, we had to do work to get money because that job wasn't paying. So we were doing that work as well, and I was doing that work. So it was a bit of a swap around, and I'd work at night and I'd work on Saturday and Sunday. So, but you know, we used to work 6 days a week, every week for 25, 30 years.
And how many bedrooms?
It was basically 2 bedrooms. It was a bedroom upstairs. That's all that was up there. And there was a bedroom downstairs. Well, we had Charlie, but then we had twins.
Surprise.
Surprise. So we had 3 kids under 2.5. Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. And twins, like 2 babies at once.
Oh.
Anne was a trooper. I was at work. You know, like I didn't have to do much. I did stuff at night, but that 10 o'clock feed on the twins, that was a killer. I burst into tears most nights. I was so tired.
What did that little house look like? Describe it to me.
We did this beautiful reno that we loved, and we painted it our colours. And you got to remember, Daz, you know this, that I'm a terrible designer. You've just been giving me advice on my kitchen just about 20 minutes ago.
I do get a phone call here and there to ask about paint colours. Yeah,
because we can build it, but we can't finish it, as in colours, and we always get it wrong. So anyway, we love this joint and the colours, and then we sold it and we moved on to another house, but then it came up for sale again and it hadn't been touched. So we went back to an open for inspection, and it was horrific inside. The colours, everything was wrong. It was so bad.
And were you like, oh, that wasn't me. Somebody else did that.
Yeah, someone else did that. But, it was crazy to go back, and Anna and I said, oh my gosh, look at this look at this colour down the hallway and oh, dearie me.
What were the colours?
It was like a salmon pink, I think, down the hallway.
That's back again.
Well, it wasn't in then. Well, maybe it was, but it wasn't in when I went back to look at it. And sort of a dark blue with white, the skirts arcs.
Wee.
Like a...
Oh, that's a decision, Scott. Jesus.
Yeah, it's colour drenching, mate.
Yeah, well, you're going for like the sort of Italian Mediterranean vibe that you've got here now.
Yeah.
I'm interested too, not just in that period of life, and I just think that's an amazing thing to think about, that you had this pivot point in your life. You thankfully went to the pub every night when you were working because it changed your life, and we'll get to that in a second. Everybody knows this story, but I just love it.
Yeah.
But before the kids, before Anne, you were a carpenter. Well, you didn't know what you wanted to do with your life, right? Like you just decided.
There's no doubt I was a bit lost in my early 20s.
Yep.
I knew, I was being a carpenter, but I was just a bit lost in life in general. And I think a lot of young people are these days because there's so much going on. And it was a simpler time back then, so you could just go and do whatever you really wanted to do. And I chose to just get on the road, mate, and be a bit of a nomad, and for years and years. And I had a ute. I was by myself, and I travelled around Australia for years and years and worked on 50 different jobs. My kids call it the grey area because every now and then I just tell a story and they go, well, we're 30 years old. My kids are like 29 and 26, and they go, well, we've never heard that one before, and tell us about that. I go, well, it's this. And they go, oh my God, they can't believe. I've got a lot of stories from those days, and after that as well. I had a great time.
A whole life that they're not aware of.
A whole separate life, mate, in my 20s. I came back when I was about 28 to visit my mum because my father passed away when I was young, and I came back to visit my mum for 6 weeks or something, and I met Anne. And that was it, mate. She got me by the short and curlies, as they say.
That could be described in your head too. So that happened in the Blue Mountains, right?
It did, at a game of footy. I was home for that 6 weeks, and my mates were playing footy that I used to play footy with, and they were playing in just a local comp, and they were playing the Blue Mountains from around the eastern suburbs area. And so I went to watch them, and she was with some girls that were some girlfriends of those guys. So she was on her own, and she went with them because it was Anzac Day off. So we all went up to watch the footy, and we met on the sidelines at Lapston Oval. And I'll tell you a good story, Daz, that we drive to Mudgee, to our farm, all the time with the kids. The kids have been going there since they were born. And so we've done that trip all the time. And we drive past Lapston in the Blue Mountains to get to Mudgee. And when they were little, not every year, but every 2 years, we'd divert to Lapston Oval, and we'd go out onto the cricket pitch at Lapston Oval and kiss in front of the kids for them to say this is where we met. And they loved it. They clapped and they cheered while we were kissing on the cricket pitch.
That's a lovely story. My version of that story is I was actually conceived in my own bedroom. So that's not a lovely picture to have in your head when you know it later. Thankfully, they only told me after I moved out.
Well, you were conceived.
Yeah, in my own bedroom.
Well, you're not going to believe this, mate. Charlie Cam was conceived in my old bedroom at my mum's place when we were renovating. That's true.
Well, that timeline does add up.
And Anne always remembers there was a horseshoe on the bedhead with a Dynamo Scott Cam's bed.
So your childhood bed?
My childhood bed.
Oh, that's a lot.
Because we were in my old bedroom while I was renovating that little terrace, and we pushed my brother's bed and my bed together to make a double bed. While we lived there for 3 months.
Does your brother know that that's what you did in his bed?
Well, no, but it was in my bed.
So this is the house that you spent your childhood in, this room?
Yes. I was, my mum and dad bought a block of land and built a house in 1952, and my mum moved out 8 years ago.
Where was that?
It was around the Bondi area.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, mum and dad grew up in Bondi. And
my hood.
And mum was born. Mum and dad both lived on Military Road, across the road from each other. So, and Bondi was working class then, and it was, but we lived in the same house. And here's a great thing, that all four of us had our 21st in that house. So she had her 21st in the lounge room. So did my brother and my sister and me.
And she spent then, what, close to 70-something years there?
70 years there.
Describe your childhood bedroom that Charlie was conceived in. Not that bit.
No.
Just the room.
Yeah. Well, it had 2 single beds. My dad built a desk, like a long desk with 2 seats, drawers either side, long desk, 2 spots to sit, and then it stepped down to a bedside table. The beds were then either end of the room, and we had a wardrobe on that side. And a nice, beautiful window that was quite big that copped the winter sun. I always remember that as a kid, after footy on a cold winter's afternoon, listening to the radio, like listening to the rugby league on the radio, in my bedroom with the sun shining on me in the afternoon.
Is that where carpentry came from your dad?
My brother was a carpenter. He started off in building. And so my dad, who was a tough bloke, he was a very tough, hard man, but a good man, like he was fair, hard but fair. He said, what are you going to do? And because I was no good at school, I didn't do any school work or anything. I said, I think I'm going up to Queensland to work in the mines. You can get $350 a week. And that was a lot of money back then. And he said, you start work with your brother on Monday. So I went, copy that.
Well, that'd be one of the things that changed your life.
Yeah, for sure. But you know what? I was always in his workshop my whole life. And my mum was pretty oblivious to everything. We lived on a cliff, and I used to climb down there when I was 8 years old and go fishing by myself and all that sort of thing. So, and she just didn't know what was going on. And I'd be downstairs when I was 10 on his table saw, cutting timber, and it had no guard on it, on the blade. Oh. And I knew how to work it all. And I was running timber. And of course, if that timber got caught, I was uneven with the push into the table saw, it could have spat me out and put my fingers through it. But I didn't. I used it all the time. I made skateboards. I made everything.
Hold them up for me.
I've got all of them. I've lost this one, but it got sewn back on.
Did you really?
Yeah, this is the tip of that.
Mate, I did packaging as a student, and I was using a Stanley knife.
Stanley knife.
Yeah.
Bad.
And cardboard. And I sliced this thumb from there to here.
Yes.
Just like open like a book.
Yeah, that's right.
And then that was Tuesday.
Yeah.
On the Friday, I trimmed the top off this one. So I had no thumbs for weeks, and there's no PlayStation, there's no washing up.
No. But
great.
I mean, Stanley knives that's one of the most dangerous tools you can have. And in the mines, because I know a lot of miners and I've had dealings with it a lot, they're barred, Stanley knives.
Is that right?
Yeah, they've got these Wiltshire scissors, they're called, and they're the replacement for the Stanley knife.
I'm afraid of circular saws and table saws and stuff to this day because of that.
Yes. Well, I've got over 100 stitches on my body from 40 years in the business. And getting stitched up back then was just the normal monthly thing, Just go to the local.
Workplace health and safety wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
Is now, though.
Yes, very much so.
Back for more on clutter management? You've come to the right place. It's more than organisation, it's cleanliness that makes sense for your space. Like how the Shark PowerDetect Clean and Empty gets into all the nooks and crannies with its multi-directional cleaning technology. And how, unlike most vacuums, its DuraClean Detect nozzle picks up dirt whichever way you push it, even in reverse. But the best part, the auto empty dock. So satisfying. There really is nothing like a practical storage solution. And it doesn't just auto empty, it auto charges, so it's always ready to go. Refresh your home with the PowerDetect Clean and Empty by Shark. Dirt eliminating, designer approved.
That brings me now then, I guess that's a good point to talk about your life after that point, because I think that pub story, I think most of Australia knows a pub story, but it's a cracker.
I still get asked a lot how I got from carpentry to that. And, I had no intention I don't know if you thought this same thing, Darren, that television was a completely different universe.
Yep.
It was the people on the telly, but I know people, they go, I've always wanted to work in telly. I go, well, why would you even think that? Like, how would you even think that you could work in telly?
Same.
And someone said, I did work experience at Channel 9. I mean, that concept was so foreign to me. That was another world in that box, and you just never enter that world. And so a guy comes up to me in the pub, which I went to every night for my whole life basically, and just to wash the day away because I worked hard and I worked 10 hours. I worked early and I was finished late, and we went for an hour from 5 till 6. And then a producer comes up to me because I had 10 mates that were there every afternoon as well, doing the same thing. And we also used it as a bit of an office. So we swapped jobs. There were sparkies and plumbers and builders and carpenters and I need this, I need a chippy, I need this, so we'd swap a few jobs around at the same time. So we'd use it as a bit of a meeting point and a community collective to get work and things like that. So it was a pretty essential part of my working life as well as having a beer. And so we were all talking and laughing and we all told stories. Everyone's telling stories all the time. And then this producer introduces himself and says, mate, I'm looking for a carpenter for a TV show. Would you like to, I'd like you to do a screen test. And I said, mate, no, that's not my go, thank you. But I mean, I didn't know, as I said, I didn't know anything about that universe. And I went, I wouldn't know what to do and anything. And I went home to Anne. Anne said, you should have bloody done it, because I was 35 at the time and I'd been working as a carpenter since I was 17. And every day, 6 days a week. And she goes, you should have done it just for a bit of fun. One day, something different. And I went, I suppose I should have. Anyway, he rang me the next day because he got my number off my ute that was parked out the front.
Good producer.
And SWC contractors, mate, with the old mobile phone. Oh, I don't think there's a mobile phone number. Oh, there would have been in the early days.
Yeah.
Very first, it was in car.
Yep. With a brick or something?
No, it was like attached to your centre console.
Yep.
So your horn rang when the phone rang. You had to run out to your ute to answer it. And anyway, he rang me. He said, mate, I'm in your area of Bondi, because that pub was in Bondi area. I'm in your area. I've got a crew. I'd really love to do that screen test that we talked about. And I had Anne ringing in my ear going, and I went, oh, all right, mate, yeah, let's do it. Or a bit of fun, And so I said, what do I got to do? He goes, he met me at my job that I was doing. It was down at Rena Street in Bondi. And I said, what do you want me to do? He goes, just tell me about what you're doing. So, and you know this, that's easy.
Mm.
We can all talk about what we know.
I can talk about myself all day.
Yeah, that's right. But I can talk about my job and put a bit of humour in there and a bit of fun, and which is just normal. That's just the normal way of telling a story. And then a month later, he rings me up and he goes, mate, we're going to do a pilot for a TV show. You got the job as the carpenter. So I did the pilot for Backyard Blitz, which ended up becoming a juggernaut show, Sunday night, 6:30. It was number one for 6 years. So no, it's the highest rating show for a long time on Sunday nights. We were in the top 3 at all times. And we won 6 Logies. It was an incredible ride. It was amazing. And that was 27 years ago.
So interesting that, because I'm with you, exactly the same. I never thought in a million years TV would be in my sphere. It was just not part of my reality. Never knew anybody that worked in TV.
No.
I grew up in Central Queensland, just not real.
No.
And I got sent a message on Facebook in 2008 by a mate saying, you should try out for this thing. They're looking for contestants on a show. Mm. And I was like...
You were already a designer then?
I was, but only for a few years. I'd only been designing for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And they wanted inexperienced or low experienced designers for this show. And I asked 3 people if I should do it. I asked Jez Smith, who was he's a photographer. He was one of the judges on Australia's Next Top Model. I asked Peter Morrissey.
Oh, yes.
And I asked another one. And so Jez said, don't do it. Pete said, do it. And then the other person said, I can't advise you on that. And so I thought, gosh, and I'll wait and wait and wait. And I put it off to the very last minute. I had the flu, did my audition to a video to my camera, got in. Like, this is in December. We started filming in January.
Yes.
And I was at the promo shoot where they've got all the other contestants there, and the judges walk in, and the person that couldn't advise me
was the judge.
Was one of the judges, Neil Whitaker.
Oh, Neil Whitaker, was it?
And I was like,
so you knew Neil from the design time?
So I knew him because he'd published me in Bell,
yes.
And he had made me a mood maker. I think I don't know if it was before or after the show, but he'd given me some support. He gave me my first break.
Yeah,
he's a good man. He's one of my favourites.
Yeah, Neil. He's a stalwart, wasn't he, for us?
That's the thing. Like this one pivot point.
Yeah,
one
of course,
thing, one decision, one risk that I took. Just
and
like
you know what happens, Darren? You drive a better car now, and you have a better house. That's what happens.
And
you don't have any more money in the bank. You just got better shit.
If you understand it's a job,
and
it's not your identity, you stay the same,
mate. That's my biggest asset. Is for me. I mean, I've been in this for a long time now, and I've stayed. I feel as I'm exactly the same as I was when I was 20 years old. I talk the same. I have the same thoughts. And the biggest thing is I've treated it as a job. I turn up on time. I'm prepared. I'm never late. I'm self-sufficient. I don't ask for anything. I get my own water. I don't iron my shirt. I wear no makeup. And I just turn up to work. I wash my clothes when I'm away on the block. I hang up my shirts, like the shirt I've got on right now. I hang it up out of the washing machine and it dries on a hanger. And then I put it on and go and do national telly.
Low maintenance.
Low maintenance,
just
mate.
like me.
I know, I thought I'd tell you that because I know you.
I don't mind a touch of makeup. Let's put it that way.
Well, I should wear makeup, but I sort of, they say, you should wear some makeup. I go, yeah, but I never get round to it.
Scott,
but
this is beard dye, spray tan, makeup, mascara, weekly haircuts, training, the whole thing is a whole thing.
So Darren, you're going to be horrified. You got here at 9 o'clock this morning at my house. I cut my hair in the backyard at 8:30 this morning.
Not horrified. I think that's brilliant. I think that's excellent.
Yes.
Hope you cleaned up.
I thought I better look nice for Daz, so I gave myself a haircut.
I cut my hair all the way through COVID and Olivier's hair all the way through COVID, and we look pretty mint.
I've got a salon out the back. It's a mirror on the back fence, and it's called Shay Cam. I've been cutting my own hair my whole life.
So when you're away, and you're away 3 months a year, you live, if you can, you live in the same place.
Yes.
And it's important to you that you've got bedrooms there so your family can visit.
For the last 15 years, I've lived in Melbourne for around 4 months a year.
Yeah.
So Anne and I bought a small place in Melbourne, so we had a base and we were comfortable because, our work that we do is quite grueling and it's 7 days a week and you've got to be comfortable. You can't be unhappy where you're living and working like that at the same time. So you couldn't live in a hotel room or you couldn't live in a foreign service apartment. You could, of course, but to make life a bit easier and to also do a good job, we bought a base, which we love, and it's got clothes in it and everything like that. And, the network is very good. They pay the rent for me to live there because they have to put me up somewhere. So that makes it economically viable. And when it's not in the Melbourne district, which it hasn't been in the last 4 years, 3 times, Gisborne, I did live there because it was only a 30-minute commute. But when it comes to Phillip Island and Dalesford, it was too long. So, yes, I rent a house, which the network are very good to me. They pay the rent, of course, but they have to accommodate me. And I get a 4-bedroom house that all the kids can come and stay, and Anne can come and stay, of course, with me, and they visit. So that makes life a bit better as well. To keep your mind settled and to keep your spirits up and working those hours, I feel as though you need to have your family around you because I'm very much a family man and I'm very much a home man and I love my kids being around me and dinner with my kids and things like that. So again, Channel 9 are the most amazing network to work for and they have been for the 26 odd years that I've been there. They've just been incredible to me and they fly Anne and the kids, they fly them down whenever they want.
But the important thing there is you are the most comfortable, you are the most able to deal with your schedule and all the things that are demanded of you with your family around you.
Correct.
And you are very much a family man. I know we're sitting in your house here.
Yes.
And you've told me that you have adapted this house so that you could keep your family close to you.
Yes, that's right. I build stuff so they stay.
Yeah.
My son, he's been overseas for 8 months, and he just got back. So he's back at work now, but he's always lived here. And so he had a veranda off his bedroom, but I enclosed that and turned it into an office, work from home space during COVID. And so he's upstairs working from home in his work from home space.
You still got him.
I built it.
You still got him.
I've got him, mate.
Trapped him in the family home. But Charlie's left.
Charlie's left.
That's got to have been good and like bittersweet.
It is, mate. You love to see your kids moving forward and getting established in their own lives, and obviously that's inevitable. And it was a harsh reality that was something that I couldn't face for a little bit because it was the beginning of the end. And my daughter is now living in the Central Coast, who I'm very close to, where like she is the female version of me, if you can understand that.
Oh, I've met her.
You've met her. Yeah, that's right. She's crazy, right? And she is funny and she's unreal, but she's really vibrant and positive. That's what I'm a positive person. I hate negativity. But she's the female version of me, so we're very close. She's got a little bit of a temper and we blew a bit, but then we kiss and make up. And she's moved, and that's really hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Do you remember what she said to you at the Logies?
Oh, yes. About years?
Yes.
Well, I'd like to relay that story. It's very, very funny. Darren, of course, was dressed, to the listeners, Darren was dressed magnificently with this beautiful vest underneath his jacket, and I've got a bit of a gut, so which I'm losing at the moment. I'm trying to really work hard. And my daughter, who she doesn't come to the Logies. She comes to the red carpet thing to see everybody. Then she gets to the taxi and goes home.
Smart lady.
It's a little bit of a thing that I organised for her. And she said, Dad, it was Darren, me, my wife, and Sarah. And she said, Dad, you should wear a vest like that and look like Darren because, he looks so much good, better. And then Darren said to Sarah, darling, in your father's defence, I am a homosexual. Which we all laughed hysterically.
I just thought it was just being fair to you. I mean, I've got a husband at home that helps me get dressed. You've got Anne, and she does a great job. But,
yes,
it is a different canvas.
I tell that story all the time. I love it. I think it's so funny, and we did have a great laugh, all of us.
How many Logies have you been to?
Mate, I've been to 25.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You got how many?
I think I've got 14.
14. One of those is a gold.
Yes, one's a gold, one's a silver.
And the night you won the gold.
Yes.
2014.
Yes.
That was probably, I'm going to guess, one of the career highlights that you've had.
Oh,
at least
mate,
that night was a bloody good night.
100%. Like what the disbelief, of there's 48 people. Well, it's probably more now. At that time, there's 48 people that won the Logie because some had won 3. Graham Kennedy won 6. So 48 people since 1956 have won the Gold Logie. You remember that story we just told about the pub, and then all of a sudden I'm up on stage with Kylie Minogue getting a Gold Logie.
Yeah.
So that journey is just ridiculous and it's crazy. Yeah. And it comes from working on great shows, a bit of luck getting some great shows, some great producers.
It's not luck, mate. You have something that's bankable and relatable and you're bloody good at your job. I've seen you with pages of A4. He's unbelievable. Pages of A4 script, and you can just go and then got it.
It's a bit longer than that. If it's 3 or 4 pages, it takes me about half an hour.
But it's in your head.
Minutes.
You can see it in your head, right?
I can. It's quite amazing. It's the only thing I'm good at, Darren. But I was like that a bit at school for fun stuff, not schoolwork.
Mm.
I could recite TV commercials word for word.
Me too.
And so now when I read a script, or because Sunday nights in the studio is all because a lot of people think I wear an earpiece, which I've never worn an earpiece because I never wanted to or needed to. So I don't have an earpiece. And all those little scripts we do when I'm announcing things is all scripted. But each paragraph appears in my head as I'm talking it, which is, you know what, I believe everybody could do that. It comes with confidence.
I don't think everyone can do that. It's only that it's so natural to you that it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
think it's confidence. Like as soon as you start doubting yourself or thinking, oh, how am I going to sound? Or is that person looking at me? What do they think? You know, when you're doing a piece to camera, some people might think, oh, I wonder, are they liking this? Am I doing a good job? And then you lose your train of thought straight away.
Sure.
If you can consume yourself into that script, it appears and you just do it.
Hey, that night you met Kylie Minogue and she gave you a kiss on the cheek.
I've got a photo of it if you'd like to see it.
Of course, I'd like to see it. I absolutely am completely starstruck by Kylie Minogue. In fact, that night,
Yes.
I was.
And you made an idiot of yourself.
Oh, I did. I did, mate. Yeah.
You told me this story.
I would love to reenact this story for the people at home. So I asked to be introduced to Kylie. She didn't want to be introduced to me. That's
Yes.
for damn sure.
It's all right.
And
She'd be used to that.
yeah, I hope so. She wouldn't be used to this, what happened next. But anyway, so
Tell me in detail.
all right, I'll act it out. You be
Yes.
Kylie.
I'll be Kylie.
Okay.
Hello, Darren.
No, I knelt down beside her.
Knelt.
Yep, here.
Oh.
I'm like this. Like, hi Kylie, I'm Darren.
And you were kneeling the whole time.
Yep.
And we were holding hands.
And then she said, oh, your host won a gold Logie tonight. I said, yeah, that's great. She said, oh, my uncle Noel works on the show. I said, yeah, I know Noel. And then behind, she's gone like this, right? Because I'm holding her hand the whole time, like for 5 minutes.
And
I think I
but
held
hang on
her
a minute.
hand.
Are you kneeling at this stage?
Yes. I was mortified.
Why were you kneeling?
Because
You
I
panicked.
was completely panicked and starstruck. And I knelt by Kylie Minogue and had a good chat and held her hand for 5 minutes until I got a hand on my shoulder and
Get
the
up.
security guard was like, time to go, buddy.
That's
A low
no
point.
good, mate.
That's a low point.
That's a low point. Jeez.
So one of the best nights of your life, one of the most mortifying of mine, but there you go.
Yes, look, that was an incredible night for my for Anne, who's, Anne runs our business, the PA, and she runs everything for me. So it was recognition of her as well and our team. That's what it was. It was recognition, and the kids were very excited, and it was just a terrific. It was a terrific time. It was, and just to be nominated for a gold is unreal, which is great. And we've got up on stage and won Team Logies, which is fantastic too.
Yeah, I think I've been up there once, twice, maybe.
Yeah, you would have been. I remember you being up there.
Yeah.
Here's the amazing thing, mate. I loved telly when I was a kid, like the Don Lane Show, all that Ernie Sigley, and I loved everything about telly. And I used to watch the Logies religiously. It was the night of nights, right? And then all of a sudden, we're all at the Logies.
And then life changed like that.
Yeah.
But you didn't change. That's the thing.
No.
I think that's the interesting thing about talking to you, that your life was very different before TV,
Yes.
but you and your family weren't.
Right.
And it was very different after that point, but you and your family weren't.
But you know what, Darren? My life was only different when I was, out in public sort of arenas, like going to the footy or stuff, where there's a lot of people around that might recognise me. But my life outside of that public persona was exactly the same, because I worked as a carpenter until I was 50.
Did you really?
Yes. I worked every day and did television on the side till I was 50 years old.
On your own stuff or for other people?
On my stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
no, for clients.
Jesus Christ. So you,
I was a builder. I was still a
Scott Cam
builder.
from the telly would pop up to your house and
Yes.
bloody hell.
And I'm 63, so that was only 13 years ago that I stopped. I was about 52 when I stopped in business. I still had staff, mate. I still had apprentices. So I was doing both.
That blows my mind.
So my life was pretty much the same until I was 52 years old, I reckon. And then it was getting less and less, more telly. So when I was 50, that's when the block had started. And that's when it started to peter out, because it became a bit more of a full-time gig.
There's 22 seasons for you, isn't it?
No, next year will be my 21st, because I didn't do the first two.
Yeah, right.
That's
That's right. We're at 20. That's right, 21. So yeah. Okay.
22 next year.
Yep.
And I've done 19. So.
And I've done 17. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's great.
Isn't that nuts?
Brilliant.
Like, for a bloke that never thought that I would ever be on telly to land a job like that,
Yeah.
that just keeps going.
Yeah.
It's bananas.
I know, it's great, mate. But you do a great job, right? And you're articulate, you know your stuff, and that's what it's all about. You got to do your job. You can't just be the very pretty, handsome boy you are. You've got to know your shit, mate. and you do, and that's why you do well.
Yeah, well, I'm blessed.
And we all know our stuff, right? So that's why we do well.
Yeah, and I'm prepared. I'm always prepared to.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Turn up on time, be prepared, and don't ask for much.
So we're in your house here, and 2 of your kids have flown the nest, and you've got 1 still with you.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Charlie's started his own family. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, mate. And, we moved to this house. This is a really interesting statement from Anne, my wife. I built a really nice house for our family in Rosebery, which I think you might have been to, maybe.
No, I've only ever been here.
Right. So I built this house we had an old house that we lived in for 8 years or 6 years after Zetland, and it was a really old house. And then we lived in that. Once the kids got a little bit older, I bulldozed that and built a house in 12 months to the day. And it was a big house with an underground basement. It was a big job.
You built?
I built it with my 2 boys that worked for me and loved it because I purpose built it for her. Big walk-in wardrobe for her. Walk-in wardrobe for me, which had pigeonholes. That's all I had. She had drawers and hanging space. So it was all what she wanted. Then I'm a bit of a bloke that makes decisions quickly. I don't procrastinate. And I bought this house and she hadn't really seen it.
Surprise.
Yeah. And she cried because she didn't want to leave that house. But I said, Dale, it's going to be good for us, I promise you, And so then she said, I worked it out. Doesn't matter where you live, as long as you're with your family. So she'd be living in a tent, she could be living in this house, that house, Zetland. As long as the family's there and we're together, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So then she was happy.
And you've used this place to collect things from all your family, all your experiences in life. There's dug over 1,000 holes.
That's my clay ball collection. It's my pride and joy. I love it. I've been collecting that since I was in my 20s. And it all stems, Darren, from I've dug thousands of holes because I've put posts in the ground a lot and I've just dug a lot of holes. And digging a hole in clay is hard work. You've got a big 5-foot spud bar and you've got a post hole shovel and you've got scissor shovels. And clay, you've got to chip away and it's a real mindset. If you've got to dig 100 of them in a deck or a house or something or a fence line, then that's a mind, that'll muck your mind up.
Got it up. Yeah, got it.
When you're digging 100 holes in clay. But it's an achievement too. And so all the different coloured clays, I love Australia, I love the bush, I love clay. And I used to muck around with it when I was a kid, because I used to dig and do all sorts, build tree houses. And so I saw that there was different coloured clays in it. So when I got a clay that I hadn't seen before, I'd collect a sample of it and I'd spit on it and roll it and roll it and roll it and roll it and put it in my nail bag. And then I'd bring it out and spit on it and shine it on my pants, on my shirt. All my work shirts used to have clay all down here and couldn't get it out. And then I'd leave it in the shade somewhere so it wouldn't crack. Couldn't dry it in the sun. And I worked that out early. And then I'd bring it home and put it in I had big ice cream containers. And then I found that printing shelf that fitted my clay balls. And so I stacked them all in that. And that's it. That's clay from all over Australia for when I was working young, old, TV, everywhere. And I got the idea, Don Bradman, of course, the famous cricketer, at the Bradman Museum in Barrel when I was in my 20s. I was down there because I loved Don Bradman. And there was a black clay ball in a cabinet with all his memorabilia, cricket bats and everything like that size, clay ball. And I said to the bloke, what's that clay ball? And he said, Bradman in the 30, I can't remember which series it was, but it was in the 30s. The pitch at the SCG was made out of bull-eye soil, which is really heavy, rich black clay soil. And a chunk of it came off the pitch, chipped off, and Bradman used that as his marker in slips, that chip of wicket. He used it as his marker on the ground. And between balls, he'd pick it up and spit on it and roll it and squash it and mould it. And it turned into this perfectly shiny ball that was in this cabinet. And I went, that is brilliant.
That's good enough for me.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And there they are.
And over there, you showed me a picture of a sawmill and a huge piece of timber that we're sitting in front of now.
Yes, I love doing stuff like that. There's a picture up there which my family gave me for Father's Day one year, that frame with the 3 pictures in it of my little kids on a big barrel of timber, like a log, that was a fallen tree at our farm. And I've got a Lucas sawmill, which is fantastic. It's a beautiful piece of machinery. And so that log, all the kids helped me. We milled some slabs out of that log, and then I built this table that we're sitting at out of that log. So there's a picture of the kids sitting on the log, and then they sat at the same log eating dinner every night, because this was in our old house.
Oh, Jesus, wow.
I've had this for a long time. And,
it's massive.
Yeah.
So
all the kids grew up eating their dinner at this table, and then they also grew up helping me cut it. That I love a story to everything.
Well, you've got lots of stories in here.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I love old stuff. I love, like my grandfather had whiskey decanters on a tray, which I've got. That ship's decanter, see the one with a bowl at the bottom?
This one?
The one with the bowl, the bigger bowl.
Yep.
That's called a ship's decanter because the weight's at the bottom, so it won't rock.
Got it.
And Dennis Hickey gave me that for my 21st birthday. That decanter.
Who's Dennis Hickey?
He's just a great mate of mine. He's still a mate.
Got it.
I went to school with him.
Awesome.
When you had a 21st, I'm going to bring you a pewter or a whiskey decanter for your future.
Yeah, I got a little flask.
Your hip flask.
Yeah, but never used it. And you've got all that stuff through your house, all the heirlooms, all these things that mean something and have memories, and all. It's all meaningful.
Yes, that lighthouse lamp next to the didgeridoo over there.
Yep.
My grandfather won that in a speedboat race in 1920.
Of course he did.
It was a trophy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I love about your home is, one, it was made to adjust to your family and to keep them close because that's what's important to you. And I think that it even extends to your dogs. Like there's Lizzie and Rosie are here.
Yes.
They're no longer with us, but they're still here.
Yes, you can pat them. They're still here. Rosie's there at the top of the stairs and Lizzie's halfway up. They say a lot of dogs take anxiety tablets, because they've got anxiety, and which I'm not you'd imagine I'm not a believer in.
I would have thought not.
That's right. And we've got Frankie, who's sitting under the table here with us. If any dog has got anxiety, it's Frankie, seeing those 2 stuffed ones.
She's like, this is what comes next.
What happened to those 2?
That's why she's a good girl. That's why she's such a good girl, because she's like, woo.
That's right. Rightio, I'll keep on my toes here. She needs anxiety tablets. It's true.
That's funny. So this house has served you really well.
It has. We love it. Yeah, and it's an old house, but it's got fantastic bones. And all I needed to do really was I'd put a new kitchen in, a new laundry, and a couple of new bathrooms. And I did all that myself. Yeah. And we lived here, which I love doing as well. My wife, we had a trestle table up there with a sandwich maker and a toaster and a microwave. And I had a camp fridge underneath. And we lived here for 3 months.
I can do it. Yep. Olivia hates it.
Yes.
Hates the dust, hates the mess.
Yes.
And I can live in it, no problem.
Yeah. But we did that, and we could live anywhere because we were together, as you said. Yeah. That's exactly right. And you know what? It's a fond memory for the whole family.
That's the thing. And you said it before. These experiences that we have as we have them as the adult.
Yeah.
They're just experiences, but for the kids, they're memories.
They're memories, mate. And this saying of mine, which I've said for many, many years, we're living inside our kids' memories right now. Even my kids that are 26 years old, we're living in their memories. So when they're 50, today could be a memory for them for when they're 50.
Yes.
So I always try and make sure that today is a good day. And maybe it's one of those memories that they're going to have when they're 50. I've got really good memories from my childhood, from my house that I lived in. So I've got those memories at 60. And I haven't got thousands of them. I've got hundreds. So therefore, you've got to make maybe 100 good ones.
Yeah, and the good ones stick. And so do the bad ones.
Yeah, that's right.
So the good ones are really important to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're getting new memories with your little granddaughter.
Tiggy Cam. I've got 10,000 hours of footage if you'd like to see some.
Absolutely. Let's sit down and watch it now.
That's right. That's what every first grandparent does, mate. and someone said to me the other day, I heard you became a grandfather. I go, yes, I did. And I'm reaching to my back pocket and they said, well, I became a grandfather too. And they're pulling out their phone and we're having a phone off. So that's what we do. And she is absolutely magnificent. She's a very pretty baby and she's 6 months old now.
I did hear you say that she looks like you, so of course you'd say she's a pretty baby.
No, my mum and even my sister actually, she said she looks like me when I was a baby. And then some people have said, oh, you know, she's got that Cam face. So let's hope she grows out of that.
No, I was going to say she's got to be a beautiful baby.
Well, her mum's very beautiful, so that's where we're going to head to, I think. And Tiggy's such a beautiful name. It creates an image of a beautiful little girl.
Mm. Yeah. And so then the next place for you, that's really the place where grandkids are going to be.
Yeah, well, I'm building a house down the south coast at the moment, which we've had for a long time. I bought, 15, 16 years ago. And I figured about 2 years ago, I think, my kids are getting older. Grandkids are going to be on their way at some point. And if 3 of my kids have 3 kids, that's 9 kids and plus 6 adults in a family. So 15 people extra. Well, not extra, but, So I thought I better whack another story on this house, which, as a builder you can do, and to maybe future-proof. And so I like to think that we can keep that house forever and hand it down and make it bigger, like so forth. And so that's always my dreams is that I've had this farm for 25 years and I bought cheap and I built. And now we all go there on holiday and live. We've been going there since the kids were born. And, I paid 30 grand for it, Darren.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that was back in the day. So I'm building a house for my grandkids, basically, because I want that extended family to be together.
Yeah.
And obviously they've got to have their own lives at some point, which I need to let go.
Well,
but if you've got a place like that, then we are going to come together as a family.
It's a honey trap, mate.
Yes, exactly.
You catch more
you got my
flies
plan,
with honey.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
Build it and prepare for them and they will come.
And they will come. And now you know why Australia loves Scotty Cam and why he loves home as a place to keep his family close. He's so true to himself. He didn't change. His world changed around him. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with a friend who'd love to hear it too. And thanks for joining me.